introduce to my fan who you are and etc. Ok, chào mọi người đến với tập 5 của Yo-Yo Radio. Và hôm nay chúng ta có một người cực kỳ đặc biệt. Mình nói là cực kỳ đặc biệt đó bởi vì đây là một người gọi là chuyện cảm hứng của mình đến với việc mà làm YouTuber. Đó chính là Brandon Vu from OffSet Yoyo. How's it going, man?
Good, very good. Xin lỗi, tôi không nói tiếng Việt khá lắm, nhưng mà I can. That's about all the Vietnamese I've got. So, but we'll do the rest of this in English. But thank you for having me.
Yeah, sure. I'm really glad that you accept my invite into this interview. Yeah, I'm kind of nervous because you are my biggest inspiration. I started my YouTube. Well, I can't talk right now.
It's okay, man. Chill. I'm just a normal guy, man. But yeah, no. Thank you for that. I've taken a look at your channel as well, man. You've got quite a lot of subscribers. So it's really interesting to see how you've like really been grinding out the YouTube content, and making a lot of videos, and really trying to make I think an impact on the Vietnamese yo-yo scene.
Yeah, because I remember that I watched one of your video in 2015. I remember, and I decided that why I am part of the yo-yo community too. So I want to make some content like you, but in the Vietnamese community. And at first it's not really many people know me, so I just keep posting more, and now pretty much everyone in the community knows me right now.
Yeah, no, it's good, right? It's fun, right? I mean, it gives you a platform to speak to a lot of people, to communicate to a lot of people. And I mean, you must experience this in Vietnam when, like, you know, you come up to a player who watches your videos and they're like, oh my god, it's Ryan or it's Trung, and you have that really cool feeling. So I really enjoy it for that reason, and I'm super stoked that I inspired you to start making videos for the Vietnamese scene, because even though I'm Vietnamese, I can't speak it, so the fact that someone like you there is really helps to elevate the community.
Yeah, I really thank you for everything that you've done on the community. Okay, first up, I think some people in Vietnam don't know who you are. Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, cool. So, my name is Brandon Vu. If it's any consolation, my Vietnamese name is Anh Tuần. That's what my parents call me.
Oh, okay.
That's my Vietnamese name. I don't think I've ever said that in public, but that's my Vietnamese name. And I started yo-yoing in, I think, roughly inside 2009. And yeah, I've never been a particularly good yo-yoer, but I think I got better at around 2011, 2012, and that's where I started winning my first competitions. And then I started a YouTube channel, and that YouTube channel now has about 30,000 subscribers. I wanted to get it higher, but it's got about 30,000 subscribers. And then recently I started a company called OffSet Yoyo, where we make yo-yos, essentially the yo-yos that I want to use and compete with. So that's like a cliff notes. Basically, I'm a yo-yoer, YouTuber, and I've also got this yo-yo company.
Oh wow, really cool, because I have been following you for many years now, so I pretty much have a good look for you, I guess. Yeah. Okay, I remember in one of your videos that you say who inspired you to start this yo-yo tube thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's an interesting question. I've never really been asked about the YouTube channel specifically, but I guess, you know, we're both YouTubers. So there was this Australian YouTuber at the time. His name was Durian Rider. I don't know if you probably don't know him. He's a smaller YouTube channel, and I distinctly remember his videos. He was a vegan cyclist. And I remember at the time thinking his videos are really crappily edited. They're shot in crappy lighting, and they look really easy to make. And all he does is he talks about these topics. He's not necessarily the best cyclist. He's not the best. I don't know. He's not the most famous vegan. But all he is a person that has kind of taken to the platform, recorded himself, and essentially was able to tell a story with just really crappy lighting, really crappy video editing, and was able to make his mark on the vegan community. So I was like, And at the time, this was around 2012, it would have been about 2012, 2013. And I don't know, like, when did you start yo-yo playing? Like, when did you start getting into yo-yos?
For me?
Yeah.
I started. Do you remember that there are a TV show called Blazing Teen? Yeah, I started around that when the Blazing Teen come to Vietnam in 2008, 2009. I remember.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you started around the same time I did.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like right after 2010, after Jensen won, yo-yoing on YouTube was very like trick videos. It would be people recording their yo-yo tricks. They'd have really cool yo-yo tricks, and they would post them on YouTube, and everyone would be like, wow, that's a cool trick video. And very few people would speak in front of the camera. Very few people would discuss and talk about yo-yo topics like how do you change your competition yo-yo, or like how do you change strings, or how do you do magic drop. There were tutorials, but there was no one really in the scene at the time that was like, we're just going to talk about yo-yos. So I thought, well, okay, why don't I be that person? Why don't I try to talk about yo-yos when no one else is talking about yo-yos?
Yeah.
And I really kind of saw myself as the Durin rider of yo-yos. And this is a funny thing that I've never really told anyone, but do you know a channel called Nigga Higa? Ryan Higa?
Not really.
He was like an OG YouTuber. He was the biggest YouTuber like in 2008 or 2009 or something. I can't remember. But he started his videos. He would start every video saying, "Hey guys."
Oh yeah, I remember that you told this in one of your video recently. I watched.
Oh yeah. So yeah, he would say, "Hey guys, how's it going?" Oh, he was just saying, "Hey guys," and I added the "how's it going," and that was how I started my videos for like the longest time. I moved away from it because it's not very good for retention now, but yeah, no. So that was essentially how I got started. So I essentially thought of myself as the Durian rider, the Ryan Higa of the yo-yo community, and I did something very similar to you. Like I found a model that worked in a different topic, and I applied it to the yo-yo world.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much the same as you. That like you is the yo-yo YouTuber in Australia, me in Vietnam, because at that time, not really. Probably no one do this yo-yo thing in YouTube really passion like me. So I remember that my first video is just a normal tutorial, like how to the Eiffel Tower in a different way, and I don't really think that video would get viral very quickly, because at that time is the only yo-yo tutorial on the YouTube. So many kids they watch it and they learn it, and pretty much I go from there and I starting buying some yo-yo, maybe some cheap Chinese yo-yo, but I do the unboxing, they review, and many people like know me. So right now I am part of the yo-yo community, like just like a not technically a big brother in the yo-yo community, but person that many people in the yo-yo community knows me, like that.
No, and that's awesome. It's always good to it's a fun feeling. It's really nice, as you would know, and I think it just gives you this ability to connect with so many people who are familiar with you, and it just makes it easier for them to for you to like spread a message, or teach people how to do things. So it's really awesome. I love being on YouTube. Even though I've gone through periods where I don't post very much, I think it's been a consistent part of my like yo-yoist journey.
I see. Okay, I think in the past or in recently, where you get the idea of your video, like like the daily vlog or some tutorial or many things like that, because the daily vlog challenge is really challenging because you have to think of the idea, record the video, edit, and many things you have to do in one day. So can you share some your experience with your video?
Yeah, man. Dude, I'm glad you asked about this too, because this is recent. Like, a lot of the other stuff that I talked about was like years ago. But like this daily, I think as of this recording, I am on vlog, I don't even know. I think I've got about 7 days left of the challenge. So I'll tell you how it kind of came to be. So, oh man, this is weird. So, okay. So I was working at a corporate 9-to-5 job.
Okay.
And this is like the entire through line of the story. And I remember I was like a terrible employee. like probably like one of the worst workers there, probably. And I just remember being very unmotivated all the time. And that came as a surprise to me, because I'm like, when I'm interested in something, I can be very hardworking, but when I'm not interested in something, I'm like the laziest person ever. And I remember just trying to figure out, okay, what do I want to do? Like, what's the next thing that I want to do? What do I want to, what's the next thing? And I started watching this YouTube channel. It's an older channel. He hasn't posted for a while, but it's a channel called Casey Neistat. And he does this daily vlog thing. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. And he would post every single day. Like, he would wake up in the morning, vlog the day, and then edit at night, and then have the video uploaded by tomorrow morning. And I remember watching that vlog, and I would just be like so motivated by it. I would just be like, wow, this is so interesting. This is so motivating. And then I thought to myself, all right, you know what? I'm just going to try it. I'm just going to try doing one vlog. And I did one vlog, and it's terrible. Like, oh God, it was really, really bad. And keep in mind, I had vlogged in the past, right? So I vlogged at like Asia Pacific. I think I did like 2 vlogs while I was in Singapore and Asia Pacific. But then this vlog was like really bad. Like, it was just terrible. And then I stopped, and I was like, I didn't post anything. And then, I don't know, like, I got really burnt out on my YouTube channel, and I got really bored of doing reviews and tutorials and unboxings and all of that. And it kind of felt as if, like, I thought to myself at this one point in time, it's like, well, what if, just like the way of, like, no one was really talking to the camera when we started the YouTube thing, what would it look like if there was a yo-yo that was also a vlogger? So that was my thought process going into it. So I made a couple vlogs, and I made a lot of vlogs around me doing this crazy Ironman triathlon.
Yeah.
And a lot of it had to do with yo-yos, but a lot of it didn't. A lot of it was just like me, like trying to fix my bike, like me going for runs, like me, like, trying to there was yo-yo parts to it. Like, I landed a 3.0 for like the first time, but there was a lot of stuff that wasn't. And then I came back, and I was like, okay, all right. Every time I go and make one of these vlogs, my day feels productive. I feel good. I really enjoy making them. At the time, there weren't a whole lot of people that had been making vlogs like that, so people were commenting like, can you please make more vlogs? And I was like, all right. I mean, I really enjoy making it. So I just kept making them, and then like, I thought to myself, okay, like, what if I tried to like do it like Casey Neistat's way, where you live the day, vlog, wait, and then vlog at night? And bro, it's brutal. It is like rough, because like, when you first do it, you have like so much footage that you have to edit through. It would take like 3 or 4, like 5 or 6 hours to edit like a single vlog. Yeah. Because I had to cut through so many like footage and stuff. And like, I think like the first week was the worst, because you're still getting used to it. But I'm gotten better at it, I think. It's faster to edit the vlogs now, and it's less time consuming. And I think I want to continue it after this 30-day challenge, but we'll see.
Yeah, really is cool. I try vlogging every day, but really because I don't have much thing to do here because because I'm locked out at the moment. I cannot go out and filming. And
Yeah.
I just really bought some gear for my YouTube thing, but unfortunately, Ho Chi Minh City is locked down right now, so
Yeah.
kind of sad. But I think there is one thing I can do right now because it's inspired by Yo-Yo, the OffSet podcast. Do you remember that? It's doing this podcast. I interview some of my friends, and I hope to interview more international players like you, perhaps, to spread the story of yoyoing to everyone in the Vietnamese yo-yo community, because a lot of young people don't know the story because this toy has a story in it, and it has some special thing for not only for the yo-yo and for the person who play the yo-yo have a story behind it. So pretty much I think that is really cool to share with people right now.
Yeah, no, I think so too. And I think when I first started the podcast thing, like, Scales had done a podcast, but I don't think, like, my philosophy with podcast interviews is, like, I like to go, like, really deep into them, and they're, like, my podcast interviews are pretty long. They're like an hour and a half, sometimes even, like, Andre Boulet's one was like 2 hours. So, yeah, man, it just adds depth to the community because not a lot of people, like, up until, like, the YouTube thing started blowing up, no one even knew what, like, other yo-yo players' voices sound like. I remember, like, when I heard Gentry Stein's voice for the first time, I'm like, whoa, dude, your voice is pretty deep. Like, I didn't even know what it sounded like. And then kind of, like, going off from that is that, like, when you do a podcast, the guest or whoever the person is has, like, a long time to explain what they're talking about and go through, like, what they was thinking and what the nuance was and how it failed and then how it ultimately succeeded. So it adds depth to the stories that we already know. So I think, yeah, that's the reason I do it. And I'm really stoked, man, that you've decided to pick up the mantle as well.
Yeah, it's because right now in Vietnam, no one do this thing. So I when I post the first episode of the I call my your podcast the Yo-Yo Radio. And everyone is so, wow, man, that's so cool because no one has done this thing. I have never known that behind this everything have a story like that. So I I'm kind of proud for myself that I doing something that no one do, and this thing have the community more and more grow like that.
Yeah, no, that's good, man. That's good. You should have, like, man, there are so many cool Vietnamese yo-yo players that I've, like, hung out with in the past, like, I don't know, I used to be on, like, Team Throw Revolution a little bit, unofficially, sort of, and, like, Locke was on there, and, you know, he was buddies with Minh Dung and all that, so, yeah.
Yeah, my boss. yeah. Yeah,
84 String, yeah, definitely get him on it, that'd be cool, yeah. Shout outs to Minh Dung for retelling the Outliers. Shout outs to him. 84 String as well. 84 String was really, really good.
Yeah, I bought a pack before lockdown, and I still use it to today. It's kind of cool.
Yeah,
really cool.
man. Yeah. It's good. It's also really fragrant. It smells the best out of any yo-yo string.
Yeah, the stack is a signature. It's a signature that in 84 String. Not many string like that. Besides that, what else? I remember at that time, I don't know, it's 2016. Yeah, you come to Vietnam. You come to Vietnam National. Do you remember?
Yeah, that was, oh gosh.
It's a really long time.
I was there. Marcus Coe was there.
Yeah, Marcus Coe.
Marcus Coe, I think Thor here might have even been there.
He's
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I remember that when I meet you for the first time. I don't think you remember, but I said that I want to try the Outlier, and I remember that is the inner ring version.
Yes.
Yeah, I tried it and say, wow, this is so good for my taste. It's really good. I don't know. Yeah, I can't remember clearly, but I think this is the first time I met my yo-yo idol. I can say that.
Oh, I mean that's humbling, man. I never. I'm so glad. I really wish I like remembered this moment more carefully, but I think I was definitely at Vietnam Nationals, and gosh, yeah, I remember I would have had like outlier prototypes at that point. The full version of the outlier hadn't come out yet because it was still early. It was like it might have been 2017.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's
2017
it.
or 2016.
Really.
Yeah.
It's kind of. Okay, we are talking about the alley. So I remember that you first sponsor is by Word and Yo-Yo Shop in the US. Can you tell us the story how you get sponsored? Because not really people in Vietnam know how sponsorship works like. Can you tell us?
Yeah. So I've never really spoken about sponsorships, but I definitely think I have strong opinions on it. So we'll dive into that. I think so to kind of go through my chronology, I started yo-yoing in 2009, and then around 2011, 2012 was when I started getting decently good, to the point where I was like a contender for like the Australian national contest. And then around about this time, and I haven't spoken about this for a while actually, I just sent in a few videos to this Australian yo-yo shop. It was called yoyoshop.com.au, and they were like, cool, we want to sponsor you. And I was like, all right, sick, let's go, let's get at it. And that was probably one of the best sponsorships I've ever gotten, because it wasn't just a yo-yo company, it was a yo-yo store. So they have like a bunch of different yo-yos, and I remember there was like, okay, you have like X amount I remember they distinctly said you have a budget of this amount, and we're going to give you this amount's worth of yo-yos, and all you need to do is just pick the yo-yo and we'll give it to you, and we'll just give it to you. And I was like, whoa, this is freaking cool. I can't remember the actual dollar amount. I can't remember, but I remember I wanted to get like a Yo-Yo Factory MVP 1, which was like $110 at the time. God, what else did I want? I can't even remember what else I got. I think I got I got a Yo-Yo Jam Fever. I don't know why I wanted the Yo-Yo Jam Fever, but it was like a pink and purple edition, and those were the two yo-yos I got from that sponsorship, and they were like really cool. And they hosted two yo-yo contests after that. So they ran the Sydney Yo-Yo contests in 2012 and in 2013, and those were the years I won that contest. So it was really fun being a part of the Yo-Yo Shop team, and they were a store, so they weren't officially a yo-yo company. So at around about 2012, 2013, I had already begun using the word irony, which you should know about. So I was using that yo-yo, and I wasn't officially on Word, because I had this weird thing at the time where I was like, I didn't want to join Word, but in the end it made sense because they were a yo-yo shop and Word was a yo-yo company. So I could essentially be sponsored by both. I could be sponsored by Yo-Yo Shop and by Word. Mm-hmm. So when I got onto team, when I won, I think I won 2012, 2013, I was on Yo-Yo Shop, and then 2013 I was recruited onto Word. And I remember it was a guy called Andrew Savage, and he DM'd me on Facebook Messenger, and he was like, hey man, I can't remember exactly how the conversation went, but he was like, do you want to join Team Word? And I was like, yeah, let me think about it. I'll talk to the Yo-Yo Shop guys, and we hashed it out. And then so I was on Team Word, and that was great because like all of my like Australian yo-yo buddies, like it was like the cool kids club in Australia essentially. Like Vu Ho was on Team Word, Skip was on Team Word, Stu, who like was running all the yo-yo contests, like he was like Word's fearless leader, and it felt really nice to be a part of a group, to be a part of a team, almost. Like, you would know this, like 84 string represent, right? Like,
yeah.
It's cool, yeah. And man, it was really cool, and I loved the freaking irony. So I remember I got like a bunch of word yo-yos for free while I was on Word, and they gave you the occasional T-shirt. But I got all the ironies, and I just loved using that yo-yo. And like I loved everything about Word, man. Like the yo-yos were great. Like even the string, like there was this thing called Blueprint string, which is like really solid. I really like that string. If it was still being made, I'd probably go and buy some. But you know, there was a real cool thing there, and Word was like super fun. And yeah, man, like that's how I got onto the team, and that's essentially the arc of that story. I could go into like how I eventually left if you want, but yeah, it's a fun memory to look back on.
I have a strong, I have a really cool look for the irony because I never throw it before, but through the outlier, I can feel some element in it that I wish I could throw the OG irony that you say that I can feel. Okay, this is how Brandon Wu started his outlier thing.
Yeah. Oh, dude, if I'm ever in Vietnam, I'll bring a few ironies and I'll let you try the one that I was using.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay. Besides, okay, we talk about the outlier. So can you talk about the start of the OffSet Yoyo? Because can you tell us why you decided to create your own company? Oh, not technically created, but you team up with Nick and you guys create the OffSet brand, and you create the outlier, the Mobius, the yo-yo that you guys produced, because I really like it, because I tried the prototype outlier and I tried the product, the outlier one, the final production. My friend have it, so I tried wow, damn, I never knew that this is different than the Yoyo Factory, because I used Yoyo Factory for a long time, and I feel it's really different, something special. So can you tell the story about OffSet Yoyo?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Man, where do we begin from here? So I'm on Team Word, right?
Okay.
And at this point, like, I freaking love the irony, man. Like, it's such a good yo-yo. Like, I'll show you, like, this is a yo-yo I'm working on right now.
The Deviant.
The monometal outlier.
The Deviant.
Yeah. And, like, bruh, look at an irony, look at this. They're very, very, very similar. And the reason is because this is, I'll go on the record for saying this, like, this is essentially a modernized irony. But, okay, let's wind the clocks back to 2015. 2015, 2016-ish. Alright. So 2015 is where Word starts to slow down. I'm not really sure why, and if like Stu or Carly are listening to this, like Word's still around, they're still a thing, but they begin to like stop pumping out yo-yos and they begin to start slowing everything down. And it was about at this time that my YouTube channel was like starting to grow.
Okay.
And I thought to myself that like I had this plan inside my head, and this is the first time I ever had a plan, and it worked out perfectly. So my plan was that like, hey, I've got a pretty big audience right now. I probably had about like, I don't know, 15,000 or whatever the amount was, to 10,000 subscribers at the time. And I was like, I bet you if I just buy yo-yos and review them, I will eventually get to the point where everyone watches my yo-yo reviews, and then yo-yo companies will start sending me yo-yos for free, and I won't have to like pay for yo-yos, and I can get all these and that was a thought I had in my mind. And bruh, it worked. It worked. I remember I made a video on the Premiere, which was a something yo-yo.
Yeah, I tried
made a video on the Axis Pulse Fire. I bought these yo-yos. I bought these yo-yos with my own money, and I made a yo-yo video on, I think it was the Draupnir. It was like a B-grade Draupnir. So I had those yo-yos. And then literally every review after that were like just companies throwing me yo-yos, because they were like, this is Brandon Wu, and he gets all these views, so it makes sense to send him a yo-yo. So that was fun for about a year and a half, but it got really boring, and it it got boring in the sense that like I'm not a person that's very good at the details. I don't really care. I'm not a very technical guy. I'm not a guy that will be like, oh, I want to know everything about like the gadgets and the nuances, and I want my yo-yo perfect. It's like I'm a guy that dings his yo-yos, that doesn't really care about all the nitty gritty. Like I don't even know the specs of the outlier off by heart. So it wasn't really a good fit. So I didn't want to be the yo-yo review guy, even though that was who I had become. So at that time, if people were like walking up to me, they'd be like, "Hey Brandon, I love your yo-yo reviews," and I'd be like, "Oh, I don't want to be the yo-yo review guy. No, I don't want to be that guy." And it was through this process where I was just like, okay, I want to do something new, and I want to start becoming competitive again. And at the time, I'm good friends with Marcus Coe. Shout outs to Throw Revolution. They're also quite big in Vietnam, and I remember at the time I was with Marcus, and I used to use the yo-yo. He had a yo-yo called the Zephyr.
Yeah, I know.
Which is a good yo-yo.
Yeah,
it's
I tried.
It's a pretty solid yo-yo.
Really good.
The Zephyr 1 and the Zephyr 2 is not bad as well. I prefer it. I'll go on the record as saying as I prefer the Zephyr 1, but
Me too.
Pretty solid yo-yo.
Me too.
But I remember just thinking, like, I have tried all of these yo-yos. Like, I tried Yo-Yo Factory yo-yos, indie band yo-yos, Throw Revolution yo-yos, Mithril yo-yos, something yo-yos, Yo-Yo Factory yo-yos, Yo-Yo Jam yo-yos. Like, I have tried so many of these yo-yos, and I never found a yo-yo that quite fit me like the irony. And there were a few yo-yos that came close. The Gradient is a one-drop yo-yo that has a similar shape. The weight distribution is a little bit off. There's a yo-yo called the Banshee that has like a similar triple cut shape, but like it uses different pads, and like the wall is too high. And like there were all these yo-yos. I had very clear opinions about what I wanted in a yo-yo, and essentially what I wanted an irony that had a longer axle so it wouldn't constantly thread on me, and I wanted a yo-yo, like basically a yo-yo that was a bimetal irony. And that's all I wanted, and I just waited for a company to just make that freaking yo-yo, and then I would buy it, and then I would try to convince that company to sponsor me. That was the plan, right? And every single yo-yo that came out just fell short in every single, like, dude, I have tried every single yo-yo that looks like an irony on the market. Like Corco put out a yo-yo, and like there were a bunch of ex-Word members. They had a yo-yo called the BFF and the Passer, and like that yo-yo almost looks like an irony, but like the weight distribution's a little bit off, and it's not catchable enough. There's a Yo-Yo Factory yo-yo. It's called the Meerkat. Do you know the Meerkat?
Yeah. The Meerkat, Betty Gallego signature, right?
Yeah. Like, look at that. That shape looks like an irony, right? But like the weight distribution isn't off, and it doesn't have a long spin time when it's horizontal. And I was just like, bruh, all I want is this perfect bimetal irony. There is no company that is getting it right. So it's around about at this point where I'm like, I'm just gonna have to make it. Like, I'm just gonna have to make it myself. So at this point, there's this kid called Nick, and I don't know how many people know about Nick, but Nick is much younger than me. So I'm 24 right now. He's about 21, so he would have been like 4 years younger than me. He's younger than I am.
21. That's the same age as me.
Yeah, he's young. He's a young kid, man. And he's a very entrepreneurial-minded kid, and he was the one who kind of got me thinking. It got me thinking in an entrepreneurial sense, meaning that like I don't necessarily have to be an employee. I can work for myself. He was the first one that sparked that in me, and I just distinctly remember I meet up with him, and he initially wanted me to review one of his OffSet Yoyos. And bro, that like the yo-yo he gave me to review, it sucked. It sucked so badly. It was like unusable. It was called the M1. It essentially looks like a big overdrive, but it was vibey. It was big, and it weighed about like, I kid you not, this is not an exaggeration. It probably weighed about 70 grams. Like I couldn't even say something nice about it, even if I wanted to. It was just an atrocious yo-yo. And then I was like, hey, listen, you've got this cool company. The branding's really cool. The videography is really cool. The logo, all of this is really, really cool. Why don't we join forces, right? And then I'll help design the yo-yos, and then you can do all the camera and video stuff, and like I'll be the guy that like speaks to people in front of the camera. And he's a quiet, shy kid. Like, he's one of those kids that's like painfully shy. If you ever meet someone who's just like super quiet, they can't speak at all, that was Nick. He was like, he's gotten a lot better now. I'll give him credit for that, but he was like painfully shy when I met him. The kind that like couldn't hold eye contact or anything like that. So we joined forces, and then I was like, hey, listen. So the first yo-yo we pump out is the Mobius. And the Mobius had the same shape as the previous yo-yo, but it was like way better. The Mobius to this day is a pretty solid yo-yo. It's kind of like a bimetal overdrive, even though there's a drop near overdrive right now, but it's kind of like a bimetal overdrive. That's how I would describe it. And then there's a story about that exactly. So like, preface to all of this, throughout this entire collaboration between me and Nick, neither of us have any idea what we are doing. We have no idea how to run a business. He's younger than I am. I'm supposed to be the guy that like has his stuff together. I don't. So we make the dumbest business decisions. Like freaking, like, you know the OffSet boxes?
Yeah, and it's different than the other boxes. It's really premium and really nice.
It is, right?
Yeah.
It is. It's a beautiful box. It looks like an Apple box. It's like black, and it's got like foam insoles. Do you know how much those boxes cost? It was like $5 a box, and we bought like I can't remember. We bought like thousands of them and had to like pay like a crap ton of money to get them shipped here. So like we were terrible like business operators from the get-go. I remember there was one year we went to like Asia Pacific, and we sold a bunch of outliers, and instead of like reinvesting the money into the business, we decided to like spend the night at like Marina Bay Sands, and like that's what like we were idiots with everything to do with OffSet. But within that, like, because now I was connected to a company, I was connected to someone who knew how to design a yo-yo. That's where we start creating the first Outlier 1. And essentially, the motto for the Outlier 1 is I want a bimetal irony. That's what I wanted. I wanted a bimetal irony. And one of the mistakes I really made was I didn't have a clear vision for the yo-yo when I started making it. And this is advice I would give to anyone who's starting a yo-yo company or wants to design a signature yo-yo, is that the first thing you have to have before designing a yo-yo is you have to have a vision. You have to understand, you have to know in your soul, like, how is this yo-yo gonna play? What is it gonna feel like when it hits the end of the string? Like, what is it going to feel like when it moves on the string? Is it gonna feel fast? Is it gonna feel slow? What are the pads gonna feel like? What is it gonna feel like when you throw it horizontally? And without that vision, like, no yo-yo is ever good enough, because you get the prototype and you're like, it's not good, but you don't know why, right? So that was a very important lesson I had to make. So we made like 5 or 6 prototypes for the Outlier 1. And when the Outlier 1 released, it was a solid yo-yo. It was good. I really liked how the weight distribution felt, and I really liked how the yo-yo looked, but it had one major flaw, which was like durability. Meaning that, like, if you hit that yo-yo on the ground, the rim would dislodge and it would become like a vibey mess. So that was one mistake we made. Another mistake we made with the first Outlier is that the gap was too wide. Like, straight up, like, the gap was too wide. So we made subsequent versions where we like fixed all these problems up, but I always felt that like we could have done better. So when it came time to like overhaul the Outlier, Nick designed the Outlier 1, and then when I worked on the Outlier 2, I had a very clear vision. I knew exactly how I wanted it to play, and I got Jeff Pang to design the Outlier 2, and I was like, okay, this is how I want it, and he was able to like make it happen, and I'm like, yeah, this is where we're at with like the Outlier 2 now.
Okay.
So it's everything I wanted in the yo-yo. We got someone professional to design it, and I'm pretty happy with how the Outlier 2 came out.
Yeah, really cool story, because recently I think that Yo-Yo 84 store just received some outlet too in the store. So it's locked. When the lockdown is over, I will try the outlet too.
Yeah, I mean, it's the yo-yo is specifically designed for what I like. So like if anyone says that like, oh, I don't like this about the yo-yo, I don't like that about the yo-yo, I don't really mind. But I didn't even think about anyone else when I was designing the yo-yo. I was just like, this is the yo-yo I want. And that's how I design all of the OffSet yo-yos. I have to have like, it has to be a yo-yo that I can't buy anywhere else, and it has to have some sort of flair to it that like no other yo-yo, in my opinion, has. So that's kind of like the litmus test when I go to design an OffSet yo-yo.
Yeah, that's cool. I think I imagine the story like you finding your own self, like the yo-yo that represent you the most. That no company can make, like I don't know, the uniqueness of your style.
Yeah. Well, the best way I would describe it is, this is a good example actually, because I actually got a few suits made in Vietnam. But like, you can wear a normal suit, right, that you buy from like a normal shop. But if you ever get a suit that's like tailor-made to you, it's like it fits different. It hugs you exactly the way your body is, and it's like a perfect representation of what you need. And if someone else puts on the suit, it doesn't fit them quite as right. But it just makes it feel, and like everything about it is just tailored specifically to you. So like, I mean, there's a lot of things that the Outlier deliberately doesn't have. Like I didn't design it with finger spin capabilities in mind, because I don't finger spin, right? The yo-yo is super angular and wide because I like angular yo-yos. Some people would say, oh, I want it a little bit more rounded. It's like, not me. I like it really angular and sharp. And the weight distribution on the rims, like it's designed in such a way, like we could have made it look a little bit like a Draupnir, but the Draupnir moves too fast for my taste. I want it to move a little bit slower. I want it to have a slightly slower feel so that I can control it. Same with like the like everything about the yo-yo is just designed to my taste at the moment, and like that can change. Like I could, figure out like, oh, I want a yo-yo that moves faster, or I want a yo-yo that's even wider, and that'll adapt. But like right now, it's a pretty good snapshot of exactly what I want.
Okay, thanks for the story. The one thing that I still have a question for myself, and I haven't got the answer. Like, recently you said you were the yo-yo reviewer in 2015, 16, at that time, and how do you, like, really, do you reach out to the company to say, hey, I want to review your product, or the company just send you something? Because I think that one thing I have struggled, because I live in Vietnam and not really many company that understand that how the style of Vietnamese yo-yo. So and they cannot how I say it. If I review a yo-yo is Vietnam, I only speak in Vietnam, I cannot show the company how the yo-yo feel, and if I can change something on the yo-yo, what is it, like that. Like my main audience is Vietnamese, so I think it's really hard for the international brand to reach out. No, I really want to collab with some brand that I can make some video, because I really do want to try more and more yo-yos, that I have much more knowledge about the yo-yo world, like how this design feel like, or how the weight distribution this will feel like that. So yeah, I really jealous that you get out the pre-stuff and like and no, really because I really do want to learn more about this yo-yo thing.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. Like I feel as if I was the worst person to have fallen into that. Well, I mean, yes and no. I think my skill has always been, I think one thing I'm pretty good at is I'm able to talk while I yo-yo.
Yeah, it's
like
That's really good.
For some reason, a lot of people can't seem to do that, and I think that's the one thing that was like my specific style of yo-yo videos, is that like I would literally unbox the yo-yo and then play with it, and it would all be one take. But like, to answer your question, like, I don't think I ever really tried to reach out to a yo-yo company. I never really tried to reach out to a yo-yo company. They would always come to me. And I think the only way that you can play that strategy is if you have such a high reach that, like, if when someone thinks of yo-yo review, they think of you, the companies will automatically send things to you. Like, for instance, since I've stopped doing yo-yo reviews, like, I think Yo-Yo Joe has been fallen into that. Like, Yo-Yo Joe, you know, he would probably get a lot of yo-yos.
Yeah, I know.
I would bet that he's not like reaching out to companies being like, hey, listen, DM me, I'm a yo-yo reviewer, can I please have a free yo-yo? It's just like, they send it to him because he's got the most reach and he gets the most views. So I don't really have any advice on the best way to reach out to a company for free yo-yos. What I would say is that, like, if you become, like, let's say you get your content to a level where it's like, it kills it in Vietnam and it kills it in the international scene, like, you won't even have to worry. The yo-yo companies will come to you.
No.
So, like, that would be, like, be so good that they can't ignore you. And good in the yo-yo review space means, like, you have the most views. That's it. That's all yo-yo companies want. So it's not a complicated game, but it is kind of difficult to jump into the game when there's people who are already ahead.
Yeah, I see. So that's why I try to.
That being said, man, like, you're buddies with Min Dung, right?
Yes.
Yeah, like, if I was you, like, what I would do is I would, like, spend a day at his yo-yo shop and, like, review a crap ton of yo-yos and, like, don't take them. Just, like, sit there on the day, crunch through and review them, and then review Vietnamese version and then review an English version, and then, like, make sure the editing is on freaking point, yeah? And then just crank out a crap ton of those. And you don't get those for free. But, like, if you keep doing that, eventually you'll start to gain views, and it might become easier to attract, like, international brands. That would be my advice.
Yeah, I think that I do the same thing as you just say, like, Lim Zung that give me a chance that, hey, just come to, if you have a time, just come to the shop and try out some yo-yos and just sit there review some. I did review. I remember that I reviewed the Leviton, the C3, the monometal C3 you design.
Oh yeah.
And the Bastet too, because, man, I really love that thing. Really do
the
love
Bastet?
The Bastet too.
Ah, yes. I got an original. Actually, yeah, this is a funny story. I remember I was at AP and, like, Simpson just gave me the Bastet 1. He just gave it to me.
Yeah, I tried it.
That's the perks of being a reviewer, man. Like, people give you, like, free stuff all the time because of your reach.
Okay, I would try. I would try my best to get that reach. Really cool.
Yeah, that's the golden thing. Once you unlock the reach, once you have more views than any other person, when it comes to mind, you won't have to reach out to the companies. They'll reach out to you.
But I think I need more help than just by myself. Like, I need to, for example, I can ask you that, hey, if your brand wants to a person to review your yo-yos, can you shout out me for the company, like that? How I say it? Do you understand that already?
So what if so were you saying, like, if I wanted a yo-yo review, I would think of you? Or is that what you're trying to say, or I didn't understand?
Like a brand want to for example, a brand like Yo-Yo Factory perhaps want you to review their product, like this for example, but you don't have the time, so you give the chance to another person like me.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I've never actually done that. Actually, I have. There have been instances where I've turned down. I think in the past, I would say yes to everything, and then there came a point where I was just like, listen, man, like, I don't want to do this review, because like at the end of it, I got so bored of it that I didn't want to do it anymore. And there were like parcels and parcels of like unopened yo-yos, because I never want to open a yo-yo just because I want to open it in front of the camera so the video's done and then I can just edit it. And I don't think I ever was like, yeah, listen, I won't review it, but I would recommend someone else. They just find that someone else, because it's like, if it wasn't me, Yo-Yo Joe, or if it wasn't Yo-Yo Joe, it was like Dylan Kowalski. If it wasn't Dylan Kowalski, and you kind of just go down this pecking order in terms of like how many views do they pull, and that's how it works, man. Like the golden metric is views, and if you can figure out how to get more views than the next Yo-Yo reviewer, the Yo-Yos go to you.
Okay, I see. I think I had a plan. I can plan for that thing. So yeah, really.
I mean, what I will say is also this. I'm getting very into the weeds of YouTube right now, and I want to get better at like this YouTube thing. So a lot of people look at me, and they think, wow, you know, he's created such a big YouTube channel. And like, to be perfectly honest, I am so unsatisfied with how big my channel is right now. Like, I want, oh man, I don't know if I'm going to sound really arrogant when I say this, but like, what I actually want is 2 million YouTube subscribers. That's the number I want.
2 million, really big.
I don't
That's
know
really
why
big.
it's 2 million, but like that's the number that I want. And I've been at 30,000 for like years, like 2-3 years. And so with that preface aside, I think the one way I've found recently on how to get your videos to have more views is you have to have like a killer thumbnail. The thumbnail, the image on the video, it has to have a click-through rate of minimum 10%. But that's like the minimum. If you get it to 20%, that's where you get more views and your channel starts to grow. And then the next thing is video retention. So if you can go into your analytics on YouTube, I know, because you've got a YouTube channel, and you can look at your video and there's like a graph, and the graph goes down and down and down and down and down, and you can look at specific parts where your video sucks and people click away. Like if you like you'll see like a drop inside that retention graph, and it means people are fast forwarding that part or skipping that part and not watching that part of the video. And the golden rule for growing on YouTube is really, how do you get as many people to click on the video as possible, and you want that retention graph to look like flat. You want to make it to be like, all right, like out of the 100 people that watch the video, or 5,000 people, or 1 million people that watch the video, you want that like 80% of it to just be hooked onto that video. And if your video hits those two things, YouTube will start pushing it out to new audiences. It'll be like, oh, who's this Vietnamese yo-yo dude? He's kind of cool. Let's push it out to more Vietnamese people. Let's push it out to international people. And that's how the YouTube algorithm, from what I know, works. So that's really part of the reason why I started this daily vlog, which is, it's a vlog, but it's also a chance to post every single day. So I have opportunities to experiment and to really see what kind of content will grow my channel.
Okay, I see that. Yeah, really, this daily vlog thing is quite challenging, because I don't know if this is right, because I imagine that like in the Ironman challenge, yeah, you have to do exercise and record. It's really a lot of things. So how you handle that thing, really?
It gets easy with practice. That is what I will say. I remember I used to watch like Casey Neistat vlogs, and I was like, it's impossible. Nobody can live like this. It is going to be complete and utter misery the entire time. But it gets easier, man. Like, I remember the first time I was recording everything, and I had to I was going for a run with Stefan, my buddy, and I had to like stop in the middle of a run, and we'd put the phone down, and I'd tell him to walk backwards, and then we'd have to run past the camera, and then we'd have to go back and pick up the phone, and like I would spend like 10 minutes just trying to balance the phone on like a tree or a log, and like you get all these weird looks from people who are like, what the hell is this kid doing? Because I'm like, wait, stop running. So we'd have to run back. So like we'd have to like put the phone, balance the phone on a log, run backwards, and then run past the camera, and then sometimes you wouldn't run far enough, so you'd like run, and then it'd be like, oh crap, so you'd have to run all the way past, and then you'd have to run back, pick up the camera, and then do it in another angle. So every time you see those shots of like me running majestically past, just know that's how the shots are done.
Yeah,
I
tried that thing. I tried that thing, and man, it's really tough. Really tough.
It's tough, right? And then there's other dumb shots like Casey Neistat does, where I'll be inside my apartment, and there's a shot of like me coming, like walking inside my apartment or inside my room. And the only way you get that shot is you walk inside the apartment, you set up the camera, you walk out of the apartment, and then you go and you turn off the lights, and then you walk back in, turn on the lights, and that's how you get that shot. So there's a lot to it, man. But what I will say is that it gets easier, meaning it becomes second nature after a while. You know what you need to do, and the master skill in the vlog it's like the storytelling. Yeah, so you have to make sure that like there's always some sort of story that happens, and that's how I like to think about it. And like the editing, the moving the cameras around, the holding all the camera gear, the memory cards and all of that, it's terrible for like the first week, but you get used to it and it becomes easier. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, I think I see that because right now, like this Yo-Yo radio thing, that when I do the episode 1, I really don't have the topic for each guest for this. But after watching like 2 or 3 episodes, like in the Yo-Yo, the OffSet Yoyo podcast, I really like that. Yeah, I know. Okay, I know why. Okay, I understand why that Brandon chose these people and for this topic, so we can talk more deeply into that topic. Like it's really cool.
Yeah, man. And that's how I do it as well, dude. And I'm like humbled that you're like getting inspiration from my content, because I've just pulled it from other people. Like I'll admit something here. There's this podcaster, his name is Tim Ferriss. I'm not sure if you know of him, but
no.
If you listen to one of his podcasts, it is ridiculously similar to the OffSet Yoyo podcast. The way he talks, the way he asks questions, the intro. And all I did was I was like, what would it look like if Tim Ferriss did a podcast and that was the OffSet Yoyo podcast? So that's like, I know you've got a question on your list about how I get my video ideas or how I get my content ideas. And I think one of the things I do, which I don't tell a lot of people, is I look at a content creator in another space and then I ask myself, okay, what would it look like if that person yo-yoed and made content? So with my YouTube channel, it's like, what would it look like if Durian Rider was a yo-yo player and made content? With my podcast, what would it look like if Tim Ferriss was a yo-yo player and interviewed yo-yos? What would that look like? If I was like Casey Neistat, the vlogger extraordinaire, and all I did was play with yo-yos, what would that look like? And that's how I create these new buckets and genres of content. Like a lot of the crazy 24-hour stuff. Like I asked the question, what would it look like if Mr. Beast was a yo-yo player? Like what would he do? He'd probably do something crazy like that, right? He wouldn't half-ass it. He would rock the baby 100,000 times. He would yo-yo for 24 hours straight. He would do a lot of crazy things. So that's where I get the inspiration for that. So yeah.
Yeah, when you talk about the challenge thing, like yo-yo for 20 hours, yo-yo with the square yo-yo and the next stop, man, I remember that the live stream that the next stop is really tough, and there is a special number in that. I don't know you read that because you land 26 next stop, right? Yeah. On the outlier too, and when you combine those number is the 22 of the month is February. That is my birthday, so that's a really special number for me. That when I watch that
I had
challenge.
no idea, man. Like, in all fairness, I think with those 24-hour challenges, I mean, I like doing them, and I'm like but yeah, I don't overthink a lot of them. Like, they're very ill prepared. But I'm glad that like that number was meaningful for you. For me, I wasn't trying to chase a specific number. Well, I was, but I was just trying to land one last one so I could let like Stefan leave and like go to bed.
Yeah, it's really tough because I watched the whole live stream. No, I technically like a part of it, but mostly the whole live stream. And I see that, and I tried that trick because, man, how do you did that? Like, even practice, not really, because this really specific trick that who taught you again? Who told you that the trick anyway? I can remember. Connor Seal, right? Yeah. But actually, this is like the 20. I think the 24-hour Yo-Yo challenge thing, just like your daily vlog. Like, you do something that's out of your zone limit, so and you try new things and you just push your potential and your talent to another level. So a pretty unique thing, but quite challenging for yourself, I must say.
Yeah, man. I think I enjoy it too. Like, it's not like, I think with like the evolution of the content, it's because I need to do it. Like, I was so bored of doing yo-yo reviews, and I was so bored of doing yo-yo tutorials, and I was so bored of like always talking about yo-yos. And that if I didn't evolve it and I didn't change it, I would either have to like quit the YouTube channel, or I would just be miserable doing it. So that's why the content has evolved. And like I've been lucky in the sense that like people are starting to appreciate the vlogs. I wasn't sure that people would like the vlogs. I was like, you know, they subscribe to me for yo-yo content, and sometimes there's nothing about yo-yos in these vlogs. But I've been pretty fortunate that like most people enjoy the vlogs. They've received them quite well, so we'll see. I'm hoping to adapt the content more in the future, but that's where we're at right now.
Yeah. Okay. One last thing before we end this podcast. Can you show us your recording gear? Because I am trying to find the camera for my content. Like, can you recommend something like for you for instance?
Yeah. That's a cool. Actually, you know what? That's a good way to kind of put this in the vlog. All right. So what I shoot on is So this is the Yo-Yo podcast I'm on, guys. Welcome to the vlog, Ryan.
Yeah, hello everyone.
But essentially, the camera I shoot on, it's Casey Neistat's camera, man. Like, it's the same setup that he had. So it's a Canon 70D. This camera is old.
70D?
70D. Yeah.
Okay.
There's better ones out now. This camera is like old. And it's attached on the top of it, has like a Rode microphone.
Is that a Rode shotgun, right? I see that before.
Yeah, it's a Rode shotgun microphone. So and then there's this tripod. I recently got this. This tripod is amazing. You can like open it up and like you can like hang it. So like I can put this on a wall and it would like, I can put it on a door or I can put it on a shower and it like overhangs over that. So this tripod's new. I don't know what it's called, but it's a PGY Tech. I think it's called a Mantis Pod. I would highly recommend that. And that's the setup. And then when I go for my runs, I just film it on my iPhone.
What about the lens? The lens you're using?
Oh, the lens. Good question. It's an 18 by 10 millimeter lens. It's a wide angle lens.
Oh, okay.
It's the wide angle lens. That's what creates that cool looking effect. And it's like, whoa, there's so much around it. It's because it's a wide angle lens.
Okay.
So it's an 18 by, I'll take it off, I'll show you.
18 by 55? Or
I think it's an
18
by...
No. 10 to 18. Yeah, 10 to 18.
Millimeter.
Yeah, I really.
Some of this stuff, but yeah, that's the setup I use. And like one thing I will say is that the master skill of vlogging is like, yes, you have to like be organized and stuff, but like just having the like straight up balls to be like, hey, how's it going, in like a public place, everybody looks at you. I'm not sure if that's like common in Vietnam, but it's not very common in Australia.
Yeah, some part that like if you go to a mountain area like for like the center of Saigon, you when you go to vlog and you go hold the camera like this, it's people that's just normal. But when you come to an area that have many old people, that's what a weird. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But actually, this is a very cool things that I am trying to find a camera for myself. Yeah, but it will take a lot of money. So one thing I want to share with you, like every podcast I would like to share to my friend, that in the future I want to have my own Yo-Yo studio, just like your trick perhaps, but in a Vietnamese style.
Okay, yeah, man.
In that studio we can make a lot of content like review or tutorial, some cool promo videos like C3 does. Man, I really like all the C3 Yo-Yos videos. Man, it's really cool. So pretty cool.
Yeah,
pretty
no,
cool.
C3 Yo-Yo Factory, they all make pretty cool yo-yo videos. Yeah.
Okay.
I think one thing I'll leave you with is like, dude, I'm stoked that you're making content and that you're actively trying to better the Vietnamese yo-yo community, because dude, like, I'll say this on the record, there are a lot of phenomenal Vietnamese yo-yo players that no one's heard of because they don't have a social media following, or they don't put themselves out there on YouTube. And I think something that you're doing really well is you're just creating content, making videos, and actively trying to like inspire the next generation. So you're doing a good job, man.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, for one final thing, do you have any advice or future plan for your channel? I think your plan first, then we go to the advice.
Yeah. Oh man, I've got plans, but I don't know. I'm weird in the sense that like whenever I have a goal, I can be a bit cagey about it. What I will say is that my three main priorities, my future plans, they're in three buckets. Meaning, first and foremost, I really want to make OffSet Yoyo work. And by OffSet Yoyo work, I mean I really wanted to make it like, I want to make a sustainable living out of it, and that's probably the first part. The second part is I want to become a better yo-yo player. Meaning, there's a lot of people who like see me and they're like, oh yeah, Brandon Boog has peaked and now has gone down, and I really want to go back up and like get to a level where I'm like a competitive contender in a lot of contests. And then the last thing is the YouTube channel. Like, I am sick and tired of being at 30,000 subscribers. And I know that sounds incredibly ungrateful, but I definitely want to expand that and reach new levels in this YouTube game. So those are my three plans, and they all interlink with one another, but that would be the plan.
Okay, about the advice for the younger kids that want to join this YouTube thing, just creating content in general. Like, do you have any advice for them?
Oh, to an aspiring yo-yo YouTuber. Oh, I've never had to ask that. That's an interesting one. I would say watch Ryan's videos first and foremost. No, of course. I would say with YouTube, with content creation, you should always seek to add value. So I think this is something that you intrinsically understand, Ryan, is that like you could have gone and made another yo-yo review channel, and you could have done it in English, and you could have tried to go up against all the yo-yo reviewers, but you were like, no, what does the Vietnamese yo-yo community need? The Vietnamese yo-yo community needs someone who can speak Vietnamese, who can be someone who makes content for the Vietnamese scene, and therefore no one else is doing this. If I don't do this, no one else is going to do this. Like, if I don't make this Vietnamese yo-yo podcast, no one's going to do it, right?
Yeah,
and I would say that is the only way you can grow your social media following, is if you add value. Okay. So, like, find a niche and add value and try to see how that goes. Yeah. So don't, like, if you go on YouTube and you try to, like, replicate, like, my review style, or you try to replicate Yo-Yo Joe's review style, or you try to replicate Gentry's tutorials, like, it's been done. That's not adding value. But if you go to the platform and try something entirely new, that would be interesting, and that's how you would grow. So I would say grind to the point where you're a pretty solid yo-yo player, and then figure out how to add value in your own unique way.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be my advice.
Yes. Yeah. I really thank you for the advice, and also just, man, I cannot thank you enough, because you inspired my whole YouTube channel for everything. Yeah, it's really cool. So
no worries, man. It's a pleasure, dude. It's a pleasure anytime. And yeah, I'm so glad you're making content for the Vietnamese scene.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. So if I have a chance, I will review some of your product. I really want to try OffSet Yoyo. I want to see that how a brand in your mind does look like, pretty much like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think every yo-yo company, every yo-yo that's designed always begins as an idea in someone's head. Okay, one quick brief rant before, like, I know you need to go soon, but, like, this is something I view very strongly about. It was something I was thinking about the other day, is that whenever you go to make a yo-yo, whether it be an outlier, a yo-yo factory yo-yo, a Chinese yo-yo, or, like, whatever, you always get resistance from the factory, and they always say, "Oh, can we make it like this? Like, the weight distribution you want, it's too extreme. It's not going to be durable. The yo-yo's not going to come out smooth. This can't be made, or blah 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 blah." And, like, every single time you say, "Okay, I'm going to change this design because this is easier to make," you make your yo-yo more and more and more generic. So I always, like, whenever a factory says, "Oh, we shouldn't make it like this because it's not good to do it like this," I'll be like, "Make it like that." That's how I want it made, and that way your yo-yo will be different. Because if you just follow what the factory advice says, your yo-yo is going to end up like every other yo-yo. That's a weird tangent I was going from, but I think every yo-yo starts off as an idea in someone's head, but, like, the less you compromise on that idea, the better. I think the better and more unique your yo-yo will be.
Okay, I think that we understand most of your story now. So maybe a shout out, because I want to thank you for accept the invitation for the yo-yo podcast today. It's really cool to talk to you, and I hope.
Yeah, right. This is fun.
Yeah, and I hope in the future I will interview more international players. Like, I just text Lucas Stecker from your factory, and and I think I will talk to him soon. But I have a lot of videos to edit in right now, so it's kind of fun.
Yeah, video editing. Dude, reach out to Marcus. Reach out to Marcus. I'm sure a lot of the Asian players, like Thor here, would totally do it. I don't know, maybe even talk to Gentry, maybe. He might.
Man, when I talk to Gentry, and everyone in the Vietnamese yo-yo community will say, "What the? Are you really? Did you just really talk to Gentry Stein, the world champion?" Yeah, everyone just like blow away when I do that. But I hope I can do it someday.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He's a busy guy. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just thinking, like, who else would do it? Like, what I realized is that it's easier to get in contact with most people than you think. Yo-Yos aren't that special, man. We're a pretty normal bunch. Like, we're cool inside the Yo-Yo world, but like anywhere else, we're just normal people. So I would always keep that perspective in mind. The only time I've ever been genuinely nervous to interview someone was Hiroyuki Suzuki, Mickey. I was scared. But other than that, it's always been chill. Everyone's been really nice.
Yeah, when I think I with you just like you and with Mickey. I feel like that. Like the one inspiring you the most is the one you really kind of nervous to talk about, because you're like, gosh, man, I wait this day for a long time. So it's kind of funny, but it's really an exciting experience. Man.
Yeah, well, thank you, man. It's humbling to hear that, and thanks for putting me on the podcast. And I could tell, like, you've been following my stuff because you knew about like a lot of like intricate details and stuff that most people kind of glaze over.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for joining this thing. And do you have any recommendation, like who I should talk to next? Like.
I don't know, man. I would recommend. The first person that comes to mind is Marcus, because he's got some stories of the Vietnamese yo-yo scene. So Marcus Ko would be the first one, and maybe it might even be worth interviewing your boss, man.
Yeah, I had a plan for him. So I will put him in the special spot on this part. Like right now you're in the episode 5, so maybe my boss is in the episode 10, but like number 10 is a really special number. Yeah, that's in my head.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Sick, man.
Okay, thank you for joining this podcast, and I hope to meet you in person like this. I just not really through a camera.
Yeah, me too, man. I am very keen to start traveling after this pandemic is over. I mean, you're talking about Vietnam in lockdown, Australia, we're in lockdown as well. Like, we screwed up and we're in lockdown as well, so it's no fun.
Yeah, do the around the world thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for joining. So have a great day. Keep a good health, and I hope the OffSet Yoyo will grow more. And if I know this is really more small channel, like I wish I could be on one of your team, your OffSet team. Maybe, just one thing.
There's no official team yet, but we'll see. We'll see once it starts to kind of settle in and develops into its own thing.
Okay, thank you very much, and I hope to see you again. Yeah, okay, thank you.
All right. See you, man. All right, see you. Bye bye.
I will watch your vlog tonight, or when you upload.
Yeah, it's coming out tonight. You'll be in it.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, right. See you.